Good afternoon, guys. Welcome to another episode of Big South Outdoors TV. Hey guys, haven't done a repair slash how-to video in a while, especially on lawn equipment. I think the last one I did was on the Craftsman Z6400, installing a throttle cable on it. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out.
The thumbnail will be popping up right here. Yeah, actually, that was before the name changed to Big South Outdoors TV.
Yeah, true. But anyway, I've been using my STIHL FS91R for quite some time, knowing it was in need of repair, but it was late summer. I wanted to try to push through and get through the summer and wait till later in the early fall to get it done. And I was actually on a job yesterday. Today is Sunday. When you got an ox in the ditch, you got to get it out. Don't normally do this kind of stuff on Sunday, but it is what it is. But anyway, went to crank it up, and here's the end result.
Game over.
It won't pull out at all. Now, what is the problem? I don't know if you can see this or not, but that is the centrifugal clutch. It's right up in here, and what it does when you rev the motor up, that spring, that clutch expands out like that, and it locks onto the drum.
Hold on. Where is it?
It's right in there.
Okay, right in that.
And what it does, it flares out like that. Well, when you let off the clutch, that spring pulls it back like that, and it causes the head to stop moving. Well, I noticed probably a month and a half ago, the head was starting to continue to move. And I knew by that there was something going wrong in the clutching system. Well, yesterday I went to pull it out and something broke. And that's why the rope won't pull out. But anyway, here's the, come here, Nate. Here's the part number. Here, put that part number right up against the camera so they can see the part number.
Is it the first three?
It's the
dashes?
Yeah, it's the top one.
Okay.
It's the big, that is a genuine Stihl part. I bought it from a Stihl dealer.
4149-160-2000.
And we'll also put it in the description below. So anyway, that's what I'm going to be installing today. I've never done this before on any Weedeater I've ever owned. This is the first one that's ever locked up on. Been doing this for 20 years, and this is the first time it's ever happened. So I'm going to be learning as you're going to be learning. The only tool that I know for sure that I'm going to need is this Stihl multi-tool. You got this for taking the screws out right here, and the one on the back. And then you got the spark plug for this one, and then your chainsaw tool for loosening the bolts on the chainsaw to tighten up the chain or loosen the bar. So anyway, that's the only tool as of right now I know I'm going to need. So let's get started. Okay guys, here's what I know that I'm going to have to do. I got to take this screw out, this one, there's one back here, and there's one on the bottom I've got to take out to separate the unit. But first, when I get this off, I've got to take the throttle cable loose, and there's a wire in there I've got to disconnect. I don't know exactly what tools I'm going to need once I get in there. That's why I said I know this is the only tool I'm going to need. So we're going to learn this as we go. So let's get this taken out. These sometimes can be a bear to get out of these holes. One thing I like to do, guys, oh, well, hey, that one's missing. There it is. One thing I like to do, guys,
had to dig for it.
Yeah, I like to keep the bolts in the same holes they come out of. That way the thread spacing and everything is the same. A lot of guys say I'm a little picky with that, but maybe I am. But I like to keep things the way they come apart. Now I'm going to move back here. That one don't have one in it. So this cowl Oh, on this one, see, I'm learning. On this one, you gotta take the cowl off in order to get the, you gotta take the air breather off and get the cowl
one
off.
right here on the top cover.
And I'm doing this step-by-step instructional video because there's a lot of them. There's several videos on YouTube explaining how to do this, but they go so fast. I'm not putting anybody down. I don't mean it that way at all. But the guys that's doing it go so fast, you have to like stop, burp, and all that kind of stuff to really understand what they're saying. And I'm taking my time with this. I've got plenty of time to get this done. And I want you to be able to watch the video, learn how to do it. That way you don't have to keep starting and stopping the video. And yes, I know I'm talking a lot, but I'm trying to talk you through this. So there we go. All right, now you just lift this cowl up. Now, I just put it on the ground. It's not a big deal. Now this throttle cable comes right through here, goes through this little plastic mechanism and hooks through the carburetor back here. Let me look and see what I'm gonna need. Should be able to just pull it through. There we go. I got it loose. And now you just unplug this little gold wire right here. There we go. Now, when you get the unit to that portion, you rotate it over and you take this bolt right here out and the whole thing, loosen this up a little bit. Alright, now the whole thing should slide right off. Oh yeah, that clutch is done. Oh yes, it's in pieces.
Oh Lord.
See that?
Yeah, that ain't good.
Actually, the clutch is in good shape. No. Now, let's see. Here's the way to test, guys, if your clutch was actually the problem. If you can see, you can now pull the rope because it's separated. So yeah, this is never a good thing. When you have clutch pieces like that, it's time to change something. So, I didn't get that thing unplugged all the way, but that's fine. I can work with what I've got here. Now, there's two bolts. Come here, Nate. Because I want to put this thing on this side. We got the audience can see this. There's two bolts. There's nothing to this clutch. There's two bolts that hold it on right there. That's all that holds it together. Now, what you don't want to do is put a screwdriver or anything like that in this fan. That's your cooling fan right there. It sucks air in and blows it across the block right here. What you don't want to do is stick anything in there that's going to block that. Because if you break one of these fins off, you're not cooling the air, you're not cooling the engine properly, and you don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop the camera a second. I'm going to see if I've got a socket that'll fit on my air impact wrench, and when I find it, I'll turn the camera back on and we'll get going again. Okay guys, I found the right socket. It is a 3/8 standard size socket. I got a 1/2 inch drive impact wrench. It is a Cornwell Tools impact wrench. You can use any impact wrench you want to, but I got a 1/2 inch drive, 3/8 drive, or 3/8 size impact socket. So we're gonna pop it and see what happens. Cussing. That's looks like it's a little too big to go on there, or a little too small. That's too big. Get it on there and zap it right on there, or right off. There we go. Okay guys, what I had to do, I had to find the right size. These bolts. As you can tell, the bolt heads are in pretty bad shape. They'll still work though. But these are actually 10mm heads. These things, Torx heads. But anyway, what I had to do, I had to take a 1/2 inch adapter that goes down to a 3/8, and then I took a 3/8 adapter that goes down to a 1/4 inch drive and find me a 10mm socket. And that's what I had to do. As you can see, that is a 10mm. So we're gonna zap it and see if this will take it loose. There we go. Easy peasy. Now, these little adapters here, I do know they have to stay with the new clutch. This plate has to stay on there like that. Now, as I already showed you, but I'm going to show you again, this is the part number right there. And it's an authentic Stihl part number. There you go. Now we're going to reinstall this. I really don't see much wrong with this clutch other than the edges right here are really worn down, and I guess that's from overuse. A lot of times what happens, that spring right there, that spring breaks on one end or the other, and it just throws this clutch out like that, and it just quits working. So anyway, we're gonna put the new one in. And again, we're gonna put the part number in the description below, so you'll have plenty of time to get the part number that you need. Take these back on, put those back on like that. Making sure I got it seated properly. I don't think it'll go in but one way, but I'm going to check it. Okay, it's got to go that way, so I had it in right. Put that on, seat it on there like that. Now, when you're putting these back on, if you're using the impact wrench, I would not suggest over torquing them, because this is an aluminum housing and you will strip them out. So my thought is put it on the lowest setting of the impact wrench and bump them on there gently. it's just a matter of connecting everything back up and we'll see what we got. Alright guys, I've got the power head back on. I've got the screw in. I haven't got it started yet. But here we go. Get the screw started in there. And you'll know it's going because you'll feel it drawing in there and then you'll see it coming out the other side. Just keep it squeezed together like that until there she comes. Now what you don't want to do, you don't want to really torque down on this thing. You just want to snug it up so you can rotate the machine over. Well, hold on a minute, let me get this bottom portion tightened back up too so it'll stay put where it's supposed to. And you probably have to make adjustments and stuff like that to get the head, the power head straight with the rest of the Weedeater. There we go. Let me rotate this over gently. Now, there's a gap in between the engine frame and this portion of the plastic piece, but that's to be expected because remember, this cowl has got to go down in between it. These pieces right here, that's where the screws go. They've got to go down in between it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my accelerator cable reconnected and get my wire reconnected.
What you doing now?
Well, I'm trying to get this barrel on the end of this cable here fit into the slot. If you don't hold your tongue just right, you can't get it in there right.
This?
Yeah, that's an old mechanic saying you gotta hold your tongue right.
Oh. Wait a minute. Alright, cool.
You ain't never seen an old man or somebody working on a car and you see them go, like that with their tongue. That's what they're doing. They're trying to hold their tongue right.
Wow. Makes sense.
That rascal just don't want to go in there like it came out. Of course, it never does. I always get a warp.
Just like Mel Brooks.
Okay guys, after some finessing, I finally got that cable connected. It's just it's really tight and you just have to kind of work it around till you get it in there. But anyway, I got the wire reconnected, so now I'm gonna put the cowl back on. I got to make sure everything's lined up. There we go. Make sure everything fits down properly. Now the same screw that came out of this side is going back in this side. Same thing on this side. There we go. Just start them like that. That way the cowl will stay down. Just put it on there so they get tight. There we go. Now we'll put the air breather back on. It's a good idea when you take your air filter out, you inspect it. This one here is dirty, but it's not stopped up. I just always beat mine out like that. A little bit of dust might come out, but there's not hardly any debris coming out of it. So it'll be good till next spring. And yes, I always change my air filters every spring before I start the season, because I do this professionally, and it's always a good idea to start out with a freshly maintained, updated machine with new air filter, new spark plugs, things like that, new fuel filter. Now guys, I don't know if this is going to work or not. I saw the problem and you saw it too. I'm assuming that was what was wrong with it. But I'm gonna go over the tools list here in just a second once I see that this is gonna work. Okay, everything, make sure you inspect everything, make sure everything's tight. Because the last thing you want is to crank this thing up and it fly apart on you. So, choke it, pull it slow to make sure it's gonna pull properly. Hey. Okay guys, as you can see, it's running. Show them the head right there. As you can see, the head is not turning. Before it completely went haywire, it wouldn't turn. This is the way it did. That's what it was doing in idle. Now it's doing, see, when if you notice, it quits turning when you idle it down. That's that spring doing its job. It's pulling that clutch. It's tightening it up like that, pulling it back in. So, okay, let me cut it off. I'm gonna set it on the ground. The tools you're gonna need for this job, you're gonna need the Stihl multi-tool. That's a Torx head tool. Every Stihl piece of equipment comes with one. If you don't have a Stihl, you use what comes with your machine. Just because I'm doing it with a Stihl, you might have a Shindaiwa or you might have an Echo. My brother from another mother, over in another area, he does the same thing I do. He runs a mixture. He runs Stihl and Echo. So he has tools for all of his machines. So whatever you have, that's the tools you need. But for a Stihl, you're gonna need the Stihl multi-tool. You're gonna need a 10mm socket to take the bolts out of the clutch. And you're gonna need a pair of needle nose pliers right there. Just your standard pair of needle nose pliers. And that's about it. I mean, this repair was really easy, really simple, and it just took it took more time than it probably would have for a regular repairman, because I've never done this before and I didn't know exactly what I was going to have. But anyway, that's going to do it for today's video, folks. If you like the content of these videos, please hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. Guys, I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers, and you can help me with that. Be sure and share these videos also. And if you decide to subscribe to this channel, make sure and hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything. This is Brian, guys. I hope you enjoyed the content. I hope you learned something. That's what this is all about, learning. So we learn together. So anyway, be sure to live big, live Southern, and live outdoors, guys. Have a good day.